Hello. If you're watching this video, you probably have malware on your WordPress site. And this video is for the average guy or gal. This is not for really technical people because the average website owner is not super technical. I mean, many people know how to edit websites and change things, but a lot of people aren't really familiar with the technical side of things. So this is going to be just a basic overview on how you can get rid of this malware. What's the process that you need to go through to remove, if you're blacklisted, and and what you can do. So the first step is, how do you know you actually have malware? Most of us find out because we either have the red screen of death, from Google. That's what I call it. And basically, this is just a warning page that's put up to prevent visitors from going to the site. And it's actually there just to protect the visitor. But it also, lets the website owner know real fast that, hey, my site's got malware. Many of us are contacted by our hosting company. And it's really startling, to get that call or an email saying that, your hosting account's been hacked. And they're pretty ruthless. They'll say, of course they try to pass you off to one of their partners for, $20 or $30 or $100 or whatever a month. They want to keep you in this monthly recurring fee, which is totally not necessary. There's plenty of services out there that charge one-time fees, my service included, that will remove the malware and prevent it from coming back. But they kind of use scare tactics, and they and they will actually shut down your hosting if you don't take care of this. Sometimes they shut down your hosting right away, and then you definitely need to have a service go in there because they'll take your site down, and you can't really run plugins or do anything like that. So if they shut your site down, make sure you ask them for a list of the files that are infected, and many times they'll give you that, and you can go remove them, or you can give that to the well, if you hire a service, they know how to do it. They can go in there and remove it. But so like I said, many of us get contacted by our hosting company, and then you can always go to sites like Security Site Check and check to see if you have malware on your site. And also, many times we'll see sites that are defaced. So let's use this example. This is just a random site that I found that has malware, but let's scan it and see if it has malware. I've never seen Google to be wrong. If they put up the malware warning, they have very sensitive scanners that really doesn't, they don't miss a beat. So let's see if this site has malware. All right, and yes, it does have malware, and you can actually see where the malware is on the site. And, you can see that it's also blacklisted on by Security and by Google. So this site definitely has malware, and that's one way you can determine if you have malware, because there's a lot of people out there that will tell you have something wrong with your site, but until you confirm it by someone like your hosting company or someone like Security Site Check, I would always double check it just to be sure. There's tons of con artists out there. Now, some people will get something like this when they go to their site. That's when your site gets defaced. Basically, the hacker hacked in your site, put up their own message. A lot of times they do this just to show off. But at the same time, this is not a good impression for your visitors. It's not good for your brand. It's not good for anything. And this needs to be fixed. So those are some of the ways that you know that you're hacked. And like I said, most people get contacted by their hosting company or get the red screen from Google. Now, please keep in mind that if you're using shared hosting, if you have an infected site, the odds are you have other infected sites or vulnerable sites on that hosting. So when you go into the process of cleaning, you want to make sure you clean them all, update them all, remove the malware from all of them. Or, many times you can see it spread from one site to another. So if you've got like one site that's infected, you fix it, but come to find out 2 or 3 of the other sites had vulnerabilities, and that's how the hackers were getting in. So keep that in mind. The next step is to remove the malware. And you've got options. You can do it manually if you know what you're doing. it's very tedious if you don't know what you're doing, and it's very dangerous. If you delete the wrong file or folder, you can crash WordPress in a heartbeat. So if you decide to do it yourself, there's lots of tutorials on YouTube, but proceed with caution because it's very easy to make a mistake and crash your site. Now they got some plugins out there. GotMLS.com, that's a great plugin. WordFence, many more. These plugins work really good most of the time, but a lot of times they will miss a backdoor or they'll miss a vulnerability, and it'll give a hacker, a way back into your site. So, like I said, sometimes they work great, but many times you'll see that your site gets hacked again quickly. I mean, I've seen JavaScript code that if you don't get every scrap of that code, it will come back in 24 hours. It's amazing, and it'll reinfect 10 sites or 15 sites on one shared hosting. But all of it's a little different depending on how the site got hacked, what type of malware it is, and so on. But like I said, you could try the plugins. I would say they're 50-50 in my personal opinion. Or you could hire a service to remove the malware for you. We offer a service. It's called removemalware.net, and you'll be able to see the link in the bottom right hand corner of the video. We don't charge recurring fees. It's a one-time payment service, and we can have your site fixed usually between 24 to 48 hours. And and in a situation if you have many hack sites, we offer discounts and things like that. Now I'll get into my service a little bit later, but I just want to go over the steps with you that I recommend to get this, to take care of this malware. Okay, so say you've removed all the malware. The next step, you want to harden your WordPress site. You want to prevent it from getting hacked again, because just removing the malware is not enough. You have to get in there and you have to harden your site. And actually, the first step, I should have put it at the top, is to remove all the backdoors that the hackers use to get in. It could be anything from hidden admin users that's not hidden. It's a variety of, these hackers are pretty smart, and they know where these plugins are looking, and they know where to put the back doors to get back in. And if you don't get everything, you will find yourself hacked again. So some things that we do is update to a fresh version of WordPress the core files, and make sure you don't delete the content folder and the WP config folder, because you'll have problems if you do that. If you delete the content folder, you will lose all your content, and all your images and everything that you've uploaded and anything like that. All your themes. And so in these two, you want to just make sure you check them for malware. In your content folder, look for any PHP files or JavaScript files, and then in your WP config folder, you just look for, you can go on the internet and see what WP config is supposed to look like. And if it doesn't look like that, if you see a lot of random ones and zeros and numbers, it's probably got malware in there. But you can watch some tutorials on that. But update to fresh installations of plugins and themes. Don't use installations you have laying around. Go download them again from Google or from WordPress, and then re-upload them. And update all your passwords, your FTP, your cPanel, all your users. And like I said, check to make sure a lot of times hackers will hack in and they'll make a new admin user. And so if you remove all the malware and you miss that, they can just log back into your site, reinfect it again, and there they go. So that's something you need to check. And like I said, remove all the backdoors that the hackers use to get in. And part of that's finding the vulnerability, seeing what the problem is, and and fixing those. So then let's say you got your site hardened, you got the malware removed. What's the next thing to do? Well, if your site was blacklisted by Google, the red screen, you want to go into your Google Webmaster Tools account. Under security at the bottom, you'll be able to request them to remove that malware warning. And they will ask you, what did you do to fix this problem? Just tell them that you removed the malware, and, ask them to remove the malware warning. Tell them you hardened the website. And usually within 24 hours, it's usually about, I've seen it in 4 hours, but I'd say 4 to 24 hours, they'll remove the malware warning. And if you missed any malware, they will email you and they will let you know, hey, you didn't get it all. You need to go back through the process and start over. Now, for the people that are interested in just hiring a service to do this, let me show you our site. It's removemalware.net. We only offer one package, and it's $99, and we will remove all the malware. We will harden your website so it doesn't get hacked again. We resubmit to Google for you if necessary. It's a one-time payment. You don't have to make a monthly payment. And, we send you a full report once we are finished. And we have many people that love our service. And you can check out our testimonials on our site. And these testimonials are actually from our Facebook page. So you can open that up, and I can, these aren't made up. I mean, these are actual people that like our service. Okay, so you can go down, scroll down. Oh, let me log in real quick. 1 second. Maybe I can click not now. Let's see. Okay. So if you go under visitor posts, you can see, that these are people that actually left these testimonials, and they're real. So a lot of people try to put up fake testimonials, but we guarantee our service. We get the job done quickly, and the end result is you don't have to worry. Your sites, you get back to business, you get back to work, and you don't have to worry about malware. So hopefully you've enjoyed this presentation, and if you have any questions for me, please let me know, and I'll be glad to help you. And thank you for watching. We'll talk to you soon. Bye.